What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at St. Vitus again, and today we are here with Amenra. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time, man.
It's so great to have you here. Mass 6 is now officially out.
Yeah.
And how was the recording for this record been?
It was cool because we really took the time and we kind of locked ourselves in the studio for the first time. Otherwise, it was we switched places and we weren't all there together all the time. But now we were there from beginning to end together, and we could really discuss everything and talk things through and try stuff. And it was really great. It was the second time we recorded with Billy Anderson, so he flew over to Belgium to record with us, and it was more fluently because it was the second time we worked together, so we already knew each other a little bit, and yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now, being that this is the sixth record of the Mass series, has every record kind of led up into another and you kind of knew what you were doing, or has it been a new approach with each record?
No, we never really planned things ahead. We just we hope, we cross our fingers that we'll be able to write a new record every time again, because we don't want to change too much. We don't want to change styles or reinvent ourselves too much. We want to stick to our core, and that's kind of hard after a while. It's kind of hard to change, but not change and change too much. But it was the bass player, actually. He joined us in 2012, and it's the first record that Levi helped to write. So he definitely put a stamp on there, because he wasn't there from day one. So he looked at the music and worked with the music from a totally different angle. Because at some point he was only a spectator, and he took it in a whole different way than we did,
Okay.
So that was a really nice angle. He wrote a lot of the new album, yeah.
Awesome. Now, I know that there is like a conceptual idea behind the whole Mass series. What I was curious is, did you have a concept in mind for these albums before you wrote the music and wrote according to that, or did you think of this concept afterwards?
It just came organically and naturally. We kind of called the songs that we wrote like kind of prayers, because they were like us thinking up aloud and writing down whatever casted a shadow on us every time again. So we kind of felt, like they're kind of like prayers, and a concert is sort of like going to mass for the audience. You kind of sit there, and it's more of an introspective experience. You kind of dig into yourself and think about stuff. So it totally made sense for us to call it a mass, because it's a gathering of different prayers and different things that kept us busy and brought us to our knees, and we had to find ways to like cope with it and grow from it. So that's it all came naturally. It's not like we sat together in the beginning and went like, okay, let's do something religiously inspired concept thing going. So it grew on us, and
Interesting. Now, if somebody were to like discover your band maybe at a later portion of your discography, like through this new record or the one before it, does somebody have to listen to your earlier work in order to fully understand the concept of the later work? Is it kind of like a book series?
No,
or?
I don't think so. I think you can join in whenever you want, but we're the kind of band that takes a little effort, though, to kind of look deeper into the meaning of everything, and kind of you have to allow it to seep in. It's the difference with a lot of other bands is that we kind of try to keep it minimal in its aspect. If we can tell something with 2 notes instead of 5, we'll try to do it in 1.5. Kind of we look for the melody and the minimum amount of notes to get the message across, to touch someone's heart or whatever, or to give someone goosebumps. And you have to allow yourself to understand that, and to get the music really for what it is, I think.
Interesting. Now, what I've always thought, this is going to be my first time tonight seeing you guys,
Yeah.
which I'm excited. But from reading about you guys and seeing footage and stuff, there is like a great like atmosphere when you play live, having the utilization of artwork and stuff like that. I was curious if was this kind of like a preconceived vision that you had, and you kind of made artwork to kind of adjust to your live set and your music?
Yeah, we'll always be a live band. That's where that's where you really get the experience, you know. And you know, we looked around at other bands, and we kind of noticed that here and there they kind of let their guard down, you know. Like sometimes we ask them like, okay, you bring something of a certain weight, but then you don't mind having purple and pink lights flashing on your heads, you know. So that kind of, it didn't make sense in our head, you know. And we want to have control over everything, and it made sense for us to really try to narrow it down and try to get everything under control with the live visuals and the lights, and it all, you know, it has to be right, you know. You can't, there cannot be a spot where you can, you know, that you could pierce the idea of what we are trying to do. So we try to be complete in our creation, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Interesting. And you guys definitely do that. It's cool
Try
how,
to.
like, you know, some bands are okay with just putting out the music and then it's done after that. But it seems like, yeah, I think like a good example would be like Tool. They have like the artwork and
I mean, I've always appreciated bands or musicians or artists who don't who go the extra mile, you know, who could stop halfway, but you know they have the energy and they have the passion to like try to do it to its full extent, you know, and go further than what is necessary. And I think that's what makes it even more valuable to us. I
Yeah.
mean,
And being like an artist, I mean, as you mentioned, you know, you take inspiration from like some sort of like elements of literature and religion. But in the end, as an artist, do you take, I don't know if inspiration is the right word, but does your creative ideas come from an internal emotion or like an external source of some sort?
yeah, it comes from more from the inside. It's true that we observe a hell of a lot, you know, but we don't take really examples. We kind of analyze things that we think are interesting, and then we try to find the flaws in it and try to like kind of make it a little better or try to make it our own, you know, in a way. But everything inspires us, you know. Everything in art, you know, it can be a conversation with a friend that gets us new ideas or gives us new ideas, or photographers or whatever we see. We try to, you know, make our own and try uh, to write a new chapter to our story or something. Yeah.
Awesome. And like, do you like by having these meanings behind what you do you try to like, for your listeners, do you like try to pass a message on to them and have them see things in a similar way, or do you sometimes like to leave your artwork open to interpretation?
We always leave it open, you know, with the metaphors, and we try to make it as abstract as we can. But then again, we work with a certain essence, and that's the pain of life, you know, that everybody encounters at a certain point of his life. And then I think it's important for people to realize that they're not on their own. You know, you kind of feel lost and you feel on your own more than ever in those moments. But and then it's good to have people around you who you know try to share their experiences with it, and how they worked around it, and try to use them to be stronger and grow stronger out of them. So I think that's something we try to do with our music, and we try to tell our story, and we try to keep our guard down as much as we can when it comes to translating honest and pure emotion or experiences. So it's about being honest, and I think people appreciate that very much, you know, and not, you don't try to, you know, stick a story on their jacket. You just, you know, you try to speak from heart to heart, and I think people really, you know,
Yeah.
are thankful for that. And
It's like beauty that comes out of darkness. That's how I've interpreted
it's true. That's poetry. It's finding the beauty in that darkness and in that adversity. You know, trying to find ways to make it your own. To, you know, make it livable, and try to look for the light in everything. You know, and that's kind of a group effort. You know, it's kind of something you do together. You feel. We always say you're together alone when you watch a concert of us. You know, we're all together, and everybody who understands or who appreciates the music understands, has experienced probably similar things to one another. You know, and that kind of builds a certain togetherness among them, and I think that's a beautiful thing, you know.
I've always said that there are no strangers at a concert. It's just friends that we haven't made yet.
It's true. It's true. You know, I think indeed it's something. You know, you can by the one look in each other's eye, you can connect, and you know you're there for the same reasons, and you appreciate the same things in life. Or
Exactly.
yeah.
Now, going back to like the artwork that you portray live, I was curious. So when you're making the music in the studio, you know, it's obviously you're not there on the stage. You don't have like this and stuff. So is that a little bit harder to bring these songs, to practice these songs in a studio or record them in a studio versus bringing them to a live setting?
It's double, because on the live setting you can really make it. Honestly, a scream will always come from a little bit deeper than in the studio. You know, and in the studio you try to make it sound as perfect and as beautiful as it can be, you know, and on stage you just try to make it real and make it come from as deep as possible, and make it hurt, you know what I mean. So it's a different approach, you know. You can work a lot harder in the studio and keep on polishing it, you know. It's a difficult way of working, you know. It has its advantages and its downsides, you know.
Yeah.
You have to have a good day to like nail it, you know. You have to be lucky, you know, in a way.
Yeah, it seems like in the studio, I mean, I don't know if it's the right way of saying it, but it's like there's less room for fun in it because you got to make like the records sound a certain way. But like, I mean, there's been times where I watch a band play and I've heard them mess up a note, and I mean, there's an essence of joy that you feel.
Yeah, you kind of forget that though when you're on stage. You know, you try to you know, get as close to that record as you possibly can, you know. And whenever someone hits a wrong note, that's a total disaster in your head, you know. And you think everybody will take out that note and that'll decide on the concert, you know. So it's kind of weird. You have to like get over that and yeah, be in the moment more. But it's kind of hard when you're on stage though. You want it to be perfect, and you know you don't want to let people down, you know. So
yeah. I've always said that imperfection is the most metal thing you could.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for doing this.
But just I always save the deepest and most and the question that's never asked. What could we be expecting from Amenra for the rest of 20?
A lot of shows, you know. We'll try to be everywhere this year, and you know we want to play more than we ever did before. You know, we want to prove the world that we exist. You know.
And you just announced that tour with, or not a tour, but that festival with Enslaved and Yob and
yeah,
Elder,
yeah.
Dirt Fest, I think it is.
Desert Fest. Yeah,
Desert Fest.
Yeah. We try to do a lot of festivals, and we do a lot of tours, and we go to Japan and Australia for the first time this year. So yeah, we try to be everywhere that we possibly can this year. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Colin, thanks again so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Everybody, we are here with Colin of Amenra at St. Vitus, Mass 6. It is officially out now. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we'll see you next time.